James Poovey here from the Epic Sports Network. I'm pleased now to be joined all the way from Poland by Cameron Yowell, the quarterback for the Bialystok Lowlanders. Cam, so good to see you and visit with you again. Just give us a little brief synopsis of how the first couple of weeks of the season have gone. Obviously not the results you guys have wanted, but you got to play on and play through the rest of that schedule, right?
Definitely. We've had, like I said, we haven't had the start that we wanted. We're 0-3 right now, but we've dealt with a bunch of injuries. We've had some young guys that have been asked to step up, and we're just sort of going through the growing pains right now. We had a bunch of guys leave the team from the championship roster last year, and we're sort of in that position where we got to find out who's going to be the next man up. And, like I said, we've just been going through the growing pains the first 3 weeks, and we're just excited to hopefully get the ship started, turn in the right direction this weekend.
Well, as you mentioned, an 0-3 start, not the start you wanted this season, but there has to be some bright spots that you guys can build off of. Talk about some of those, if you would.
Oh, for sure. Yes, we've had some big guys step up that, we were sort of waiting to see who were going to be the diamonds in the rough as far as the new players that are starting for the roster. We've got a really good slot receiver in Philip Kosher. He's our number 2. He's kind of our slot man. Last game, he had a great game, over 150 yards and 2 touchdowns. The O-line has a bunch of very big and talented guys. Our center is our team captain. His name's Lukasz, and he's just an absolute stud. And defensively, too, we've got, some big guys up front. It's just a matter of putting it all together. And we've got some great receivers that have, we've kind of had a musical chairs of receivers, because the first game we lost our starting receiver, and then second game, we got another one back, and now we've got some guys coming out of retirement to come play. So it's we're just hopefully going to get the thing right here. But there's definitely some bright spots. It's just a matter of putting it all together and getting started.
Tell us about your offensive line, those big guys up front, and how you guys have been able to gel over these first few weeks of the season.
Yeah, the O-line's done a great job. I think I've only had 2 sacks the whole season, which is really good for as far as 3 games. They just do an absolutely incredible job blocking for our running back, and we call it, his name's Choppy. He's an absolute stud. The O-line, they're doing their job as far as making holes and whatnot, and I'm just super impressed with the job they've done so far this season.
How has the coaching staff been? Obviously, you have to gel with those guys as well and get to know them. They've got to get to know you, and you mentioned the turnover. You got a lot of players coming in and out, along with the injuries. How's the coaching staff been over there in Bialystok?
Yeah, it's been fun. We definitely have some really good coaches here. It's just a matter of coming to a consensus of what we want to do with the team and with the offense. We've just been a little rough to start the season, but we've sort of found a rhythm and a script that we think is going to work for the latter half of the season. And I've got great relationships with all my coaches. Our head coach, Coach Chuck, he's a great guy. Coach Damien, our offensive assistant's awesome, and we've got some great defensive coaches as well too. So I love all those guys, and we just got to get this thing right. It's just a matter of putting it all together on the field.
For people that are not familiar with the Polish Football League, walk us through a typical day in the life of Cameron Yowell as a quarterback for the Bialystok Lowlanders. Do you guys practice a couple times a day? Do you get after it early in the morning, watch some film? Just take us through it.
Yeah, so now that we're in season, we only actually have 2 practice days a week. In the preseason, we were going 3 times a week, but a lot of these guys, they have full-time jobs, so it's difficult for them to commit to a full-time practice schedule like it would be in the U.S. So a normal day, on a practice day, for example, we'll wake up, we got breakfast, we go to the gym after breakfast. After the gym, we have team meeting. Us imports have team meeting with the coach, and then we go to lunch, and after lunch, we usually get to come back and chill. I have another job that I work, so I'll do work for that job or do some stuff on the computer, and then we get ready for practice. Practice is usually 3 hours. We have 1 hour meeting, 2 hour practice, and then afterwards we come back and eat and get ready for bed. But yeah, it's a lot of work, and we do have some downtime during the day, just to kind of chill and relax and do things that we enjoy doing, whether it's gaming, reading, just exploring the cities. But yeah, it's definitely full time. We're always busy here.
Tell us a little bit about off the football field, living in Poland. What's that like? Obviously, way different than the United States, I can imagine. Is there some good food over there? Maybe have you gotten a chance to get out and see some music or anything like that? Tell us about that.
Yeah, no, it's no secret that Europe's food is incredible. The food here in Poland is awesome. We love it here. just food in Europe in general. And the thing that's nice about Poland, it's really affordable. Compare it to the U.S., it's about 50% off. Like if you just cut everything in half in the U.S., that's about how much it costs to live in Poland, just in a normal lifestyle. But what's also really convenient is when we have bye weeks, we have the ability to travel. So Keenan and I, we've had the privilege of being able to travel throughout Europe. So far, we've hit 2 different cities. We've hit Stockholm in Sweden, and then Oslo in Norway. So that's I think the most unique thing about being able to live in Poland and being able to play sports out here is on the days where we don't have practice, we're able to explore the continent and see a bunch of different cultures and try a bunch of new foods and just live an incredible life. So it's definitely a blessing being out here, and I love it.
I know you get to travel over there with Keenan, your good friend. How's he been able to adjust to things over there in Poland?
He's been doing good. He was with us last year in Poland with the Falcons, so he's not new to this. He's been through the rodeo as well, but he loves it too, so much that he doesn't want to go home. So he's doing a great job, and he's been a huge asset for us. And I'm just excited that he's enjoying it as well as I am.
You guys have 5 weeks left in the regular season, and speaking of traveling, you traveled to Warsaw this week to face the Mets. Tell us about that squad and what kind of challenges they present to your ball club.
Yeah, so this is actually an interesting matchup because the head coach of the Mets was the head coach of the Lowlanders last year, so he knows a lot of our players and he knows a lot about us, but we also know a lot about him because he was the one that was calling plays last year. And it's actually interesting because the Mets are going to be missing their import QB this game, due to unsportsmanlike penalties from the last game. So he's actually suspended for this game. So we do have a bit of an advantage in that regard that we have an import and they don't. But, at the end of the day, it's just about execution. They like to do a bunch of different things on defense and offense as well. And we just have to play our game and understand our assignment, our alignment, and be able to execute. And if we do that, I'm very confident we've got the guys that are able to pull off the win. We have a lot of talent on this team. And even though we're 0-3, I said I'm very, very confident in the guys that we have. It's just a matter of putting it all together and playing how we're supposed to be playing and not, waiting till the fourth quarter to really get things rolling.
What do you do yourself off the field to make yourself a better football player? Do you spend a lot of time in the film room or how does that work?
Oh yeah, all the time. I'm always watching film of ourselves, of our own practices and our own games, of the other teams, of our opponents that we're going to play. But I also like to watch tape of other college teams, NFL teams to get inspiration as far as different things that we can do for our offense. And I'm always sharing input that I watch and I find with other teams. As a matter of fact, the one team that I was watching the most was Green Bay Packers with those Aaron Rodgers back-to-back MVP years the past few years with Aaron Jones, Devontae Adams, and Aaron Rodgers, because we sort of had a scheme like that as far as we had a definitive number one receiver, we had a really good running back, and obviously I'm the quarterback. So kind of watching how they play, I think is one way that we could emulate just by, taking advantage of what they give us, understanding where our mismatches are, and just getting the balls to the playmakers. And, that's what I like to do, just to keep my head in the game. And I also like to read and all these other things, but, football is important, so I'm always doing stuff with that.
What will it take to have the Bialystok Lowlanders kind of turn the corner and turn this season around here during the last 5 weeks of the regular season?
Just execution, and obviously we got to stay healthy. It's a combination of those two things. We've been bit by the injury bug so far this season. It's just a matter of fact of making sure we got our bug spray and making sure it doesn't happen again. So we got to stay in shape, keep our workouts. Don't be lazy. It's just all the things that would seem to be common, right? That we've been just maybe not doing as well a job as we should have been. But like I said, I'm confident we have the guys in the room. It's not like we have to go and get somebody, from another country to come play for us in order to get the job done, because I'm really confident in who we have on this roster. It's just a matter of execution. We just have to understand our jobs, and it's really all that needs to be said. So
how have the fans been over there reacting to the games? And I know you had your mom over there for a game or two. How was that experience?
It's awesome. It's been a blessing to have people come out and support us and support me in particular, with my mom, my grandma. It's just, it was a bit emotional for me because last year they were supposed to come out and watch me play. And of course I tore my ACL the first game of the season and ended up having to get sent home for surgery. So my mom, she didn't waste any time. She made sure she came for the first game this season. So if I got injured again, she'd at least be able to see for it. But yeah, no, I mean, I'm healthy and I'm well. And like I said, I'm glad I was able to see her and my grandma, and they were able to experience this beautiful country that I'm living in right now. which they loved as well too. It's my mom's first time in Poland. I believe my grandma's first time in Poland as well. So they got to see a bunch of different cities like Warsaw, Krakow, and Bialystok. So it was absolute blessing to have them out. And then obviously, of course, the rest of the fans too. It's always nice to have people out there supporting us, local to the town or even on the road. It's just, like I said, I love it when we have people supporting and cheering for us.
Well, if things keep getting more expensive here in the States like they have been, we might all have to head over to Poland for some of that half-price action like you mentioned earlier. Cameron Yowell joining us here from the Bialystok Lowlanders quarterback. They'll face the Warsaw Mets this Sunday on Mother's Day, so make sure and cheer them on. Those games will be available on their YouTube channel for the Polish Football League. And Cam, always great to catch up with you, my friend. I look forward to doing so in the very near future.
Absolutely. Thank you, James. It's been great being able to share with you the past few months that I've been here. So it's been awesome.
We will do it again soon, my friend. Cam Yowell from the Bialystok Lowlanders here on the Epic Sports Network.